Welcome back to the Show My Scars podcast. I'm your host, Derek Duker. Today I bring you Big Dave, a host from one of my favorite podcasts, the CHGO Bulls podcast. If you're not a Bulls fan, let me catch you up on the last couple of decades for us. The Chicago Bulls are a franchise that's gone from a dynasty to a middling team for over 26 years and counting as of this episode. The CHGO Bulls podcast popped up on my radar a couple years ago. And what actually caught my attention was the way that Big Dave was able to find joy among the myriad of things this team's ownership and front office has done to, in the eyes of many Bulls fans, drive the team bus in the wrong direction of a 7th championship.
That's kind of just how I've always been. For me, and again, everybody's different in how they view things and how they think, and it's validity to it all. How you handle it is how you handle it. Sports has always been an escape for me, and sports has always been something that is fun. I equate it with fun. I equate it with joy and happiness, and I also equate it with my family because there were many, many, many moments of my life, kid, teenager, adult, where sitting down and having a discussion with my fathers, with my brothers, was all sports. And that's how we talked to each other. And then it would bleed into other conversations and other things that, might come up, about life or girls or school or whatever. It might come up, but the start was sports. And it's how we communicated. It's how we still communicate. I was talking to my brother today, and literally that was the first conversation, was a sports conversation about the NBA Finals game. It was 10 o'clock in the morning. Yep. It was the very first thing we talked about. Yep. Was, hey, man, did you see the finals? Hey, what you think? And let's have this conversation. So it's something that I equate with that kind of love and that kind of connection with my family. So it always is an escape and an outlet for me, because I don't try to tie my life into it, because, people go through, and I'm not saying people should do it this way. You do it how you feel, for sure. But for me, it was something that's an escape, because, life is life, and there are ups and there's downs, and there's bad things and there's good things. But I always knew I could go watch a game no matter what was going on. If I was feeling bad or something was really terrible happening in my life, I'm going to watch the game. If I was feeling great or I just had a wonderful day or something, I would say, oh man, and it's a game tonight. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, it was always something extra. It didn't matter if the Bulls were ass and, you know what I mean, and trash like that, because a lot of the times they were. But a lot of times it made it better when they were good. It became appointment viewing when they were good. You know what I mean? It becomes an event. Yo, man, we're going to meet up and go to the game, or go watch the game at so-and-so's house. Yo, order some food. Yo, tell so-and-so to come through. You know what I mean? Then it becomes an actual event to watch. When they were bad, it just becomes a film session. You know what I mean? It becomes, okay, what they doing wrong? Man, they need to get this. And I'm studying, and I'm like, no, this guy. And then I'm watching the other team, seeing, those players they have. So for me, it's used as that education as well. But it's just an important thing for my connection to it. It's definitely, I can connect it to my family. My mother too, colossal sports fan. Like, everybody in my house is a sports fan, whether they were a fan of just the teams in Chicago or whether they just love sports in general. It was always that connection. So it's our language, you know what I'm saying, in my house. When I was a kid, my dad would want to spend time with me, but wouldn't say that. He was, hey man, so-and-so is on right now. You know what I mean? Or Miami is playing Detroit right now. And that meant, hey man, come watch the game with me. He wouldn't say come watch the game with me, but it meant come watch the game with me, bro. I want to hang out with you. That's what it meant. Mm-hmm. So when he would come and say those things to me, I knew exactly what it meant. Right. And so I would go in there, sit down, and he would be happy that I'm in there. And we would sit there and talk, laugh, watch the game, and just vibe out on those things. So yeah, man, sports is always just an escape, an outlet, and a connection for more love in my life, more so than any pain, more so than any pain and true hatred. And that's not to say that there aren't terrible moments in sports. I'm sure we'll get into them. There have been really bad moments for the Bulls in general. that have happened. But for me, I definitely know how to separate the two. You know what I mean? Like I definitely don't let it control my life. I definitely don't let it get me into terrible places because I always know there's another game.
Right.
There'll be another game, dog. Like, okay, fine. Nobody stays in the same place all the time. You know what I mean? Like, it's gonna change. And because I know I'm in Chicago, I know it's gonna change. There's no way we're gonna go out like the Charlotte Hornets and just be like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I refuse. You know what I'm saying? Like that. Right. So yeah. Long story short, it's a language for me. It's a love language for me.
Yeah, for sure. I think that's why, you know, so many fans have that trouble separating the two, is because there's such a huge piece of our social identity wrapped up in these teams. And they're also like almost a roadmap to a lot of our memories. I mean, this last season, I'll never forget my daughter. One time I got home and I'm making dinner or whatever, and I come into the living room and she has drawn Bulls tickets and set them up where we're gonna and laid a blanket out for us to watch one of the play-in games. And
wow.
And so, even though that game didn't work out for us all too well, I'll never forget that. And I knew what we're running into this year, but
wow.
At some point, I think there was just that acceptance of, when you go through things in life, you start to realize like we have to accept the things that happen to us, and we just have to accept that the Reinsdorfs own this team. So like, what are we gonna do about that? We just gotta do. They're never gonna sell that team. So it's like, we just have to accept the good things where they come. Speaking of wounded fans, one of Dave's counterparts on the show is friend Matt Peck. One of the many joys I get from the CHGO podcast is the way that these two counterbalance each other. On one end of the spectrum, you have Big Dave handing out Goon of the Night awards for Bulls players who do something spectacular or, well, goonish during a Bulls win. On the other, you have the thrown hat counter for the amount of times Matt gets angry enough at the Bulls to do so. And it's usually enough that he has to have a rack of hats nearby in the studio. And if I'm not mistaken, I think I remember a time that he had to borrow someone else's hat to throw. And where most sports talk shows the polar opposite views seem fake or forced, the reality is that these guys are truly the same fan on the screen or podcast as they are in a sports bar. I always wondered if his hat throwing and screaming and yelling was a shtick or if it was real or not.
Listen, let me tell you this. I wouldn't hang with him if it was a shtick. Like, that's the connection of Matt and I, is who we are on camera is exactly who we are off camera. That's the connection. Is he and I are both we pride ourselves on being straight up and honest and genuine and real. So we're not putting on any airs, as my dad used to say. Like, we're not putting on no airs. We're not putting on no kind of show for nobody. What we believe and who we are is exactly who we are as soon as that camera turns off to when it turns on. This is it. You know what I mean? I'm Matt is an angry person a lot. You know what I'm saying? But he's one of the kindest people I've ever met. You know what I mean? Like, he will always have your back, and he is a very loyal human being, and incredibly smart, just a good dude. You know what I mean? And people say that about me. They're like, dude, we thought you weren't. I'm talking friends I've had when they were like, yo, man, we didn't think you were like, we thought you were putting on an act. You know what I'm saying? Just being a nice guy or something like that. And I'm not acting. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't have that kind of time to act like I love everybody. No, I genuinely do. I don't like everybody, but I genuinely love everyone. That's the truth. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't have to like everybody, but I do love every single person. You know what I mean? That I come across. But like is something different. But that's the magic, I would say, of Matt and I. Like, it's really truly genuine. Matt is, go watch a game with Matt. Like, it's the same thing you're watching. It's the same thing you're gonna see there, and it's probably worse. You know what I'm saying? And the whole time that he's doing that, you're gonna see me over there laughing. You know what I'm saying? Over there laughing at him. Unless something is going on and I get into the game and I get pissed. You know what I'm saying? Because of course you get angry because you're yelling
Right.
at the screen, you're into it, or you get charged or whatever. You know what I mean? Those things happen and occur. But no, it's not a stick. It's not phony. It's who he is, and it's who I am, and that's just how it goes.
For Dave, being authentic in all phases of life is a must. Where'd you get that personality? Because you are like instantly like, I didn't even see your face. I think this is the first time I've actually seen you, except I scoped out your Twitter, but
Mhm.
uh instantly I was like, I've never even seen this dude, and I feel like we could chill and watch a game together. Like, where's that personality come from?
I appreciate it, man. I mean, I don't know. Like, it's just been me. Like, I'm comfortable. I'm very comfortable being who I am. You know what I mean? And I truly do love me. And I can't love everyone unless I love myself. And I think, and I really love and I like, you know what I'm saying, the person I am. And that just comes with age and, going through stuff and, getting to those levels and finding out where you're comfortable mentally, internally, and externally. So maybe you'll try to do something because else do it because you like, man, this was cool. Let me try that. And for something, it don't feel right in your stomach and it don't feel right in your soul. So when you do something else, or you go back to doing something else that you might have been chastised for doing, but it feels right to you, that's the realness. You know what I'm saying? That's what the realness up. So it's about being comfortable within that. And again, my family, I have to credit them with that because they stressed being yourself. They stressed it. It's not about somebody liking it. It's about you standing on it. My dad stressed that stuff to me, man. He's like, right or wrong, you got to stand on it, man. That's who it is. You say it, you got to do it. So you always saying ain't like doing. It's how he always used to tell me. And it's about standing on those things and your ideas and your morals and stuff like that. So, man, people would tell you like I was this way as a kid. You know what I'm saying? Like I was always happy and I was always smiling. I just wanted to be friends with everyone.
Yeah.
And I just, that's just who I was. Like I just want everybody to be cool. Like now it didn't always work out that way because again, I grew up in the city, so it wasn't always received kindly. You know what I'm saying? And it's just stuff you got to go through when you're dealing with that. But what I learned was, if I'm gonna go do it, man, I still have to be that person because when I go to sleep at night, I'm the one who got to go to sleep. I'm the one who got to wake up and look in the mirror. So if I'm not comfortable with what I see or what I'm doing, then I'm the one who got to deal with it, not nobody else around me. You know what I'm saying? They'll be fine. You know what I mean? Or they'll go do their own thing. So once I started realizing that and kind of dealing with that, it came much easier for me. You know what I'm saying? To just be like, man, do I feel like, yeah, getting comfortable with the word no? No is probably my favorite word. You know what I'm saying? Like telling people no, or even telling myself no, you know what I'm saying? And things like that. So yeah, I think it's just that, man. Like I've always kind of been this way. Like I've never really strayed or changed from somebody who was just always happy and enjoy giving, you know what I'm saying, and enjoy people and just being around, you know what I'm saying, people and wanting them to understand that it ain't that bad. You know what I'm saying? It's bad, but it ain't that bad.
Yeah.
Like it's cool. Like you can still laugh at it, So just having that sense of humor, those things just come something I've been blessed with and I was just born with, man. You know what I'm saying? And when I started leaning into it more as I got older, the more comfortable I got in my own skin. And that's kind of how I feel people should do and be, because a lot of people just aren't comfortable in their own skin because they're told not to be, or they're told to do something else, or they're told to be something else. And I'm like, again, those people don't have to live your life. You do.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, and if you're not living it to the ability that you feel that you're comfortable with, well, guess what, bro? It's just, it is not going to work for you. And you're going to be sad. You're going to be mad. And yeah, I just want better.
Show My Scars listeners, if you're a business owner or marketing executive and you need help with your website, social media, graphic design, basically anything branding or marketing related, you need to check out Two Oddballs Creative. These folks did my logo and website, and I'm in love with both. Gabe and Kylie, the co-owners, are some of the most honest and easy to talk to people that I know. Most importantly, they know what they're doing. I've worked in marketing and media for over a decade now, so I know enough to spot when someone is making promises they can't deliver on. Two Oddballs does not do that. You know something else they don't do? They don't overcharge. Go ahead and compare prices. I bet you'll be pleasantly surprised by where they rank compared to the quality of their work. Check them out at twooddballs.com or give them a call at 417-986-6332. That's twooddballs.com or call them at 417-986-6332. But how does Big Dave remain his positive, authentic self even when the world around him seems crazy?
How's the saying go? You be in the world, but not of it. That's kind of me. Like, it's as much as I like and enjoy being around people, I truly enjoy my time to myself. And so it's like I enjoy being around everybody, but I love, what I'm saying, being by myself or just having that time to think. Or as I'd like to say, tell people, I hate being alone, but I love being by myself. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like,
me too.
You know what I mean? That's how to put it to you. Like, I enjoy my time um away. So whether I'm just zoned out watching, I don't know, a movie or listening to tons and tons of music. I'm a huge music person. So just listening to music or uh uh just anything, like I said, like with the arts that kind of keeps me cool or learning something new that I didn't know or just cleaning my house. You know what I'm saying? Like it could be something simple like that. I really enjoy that time, away from people. So I think that's important that I don't, and that's what coming learning the word no kind of comes into play a lot is telling people no, I'm not doing that. Like you have to kind of value your mental health and your mental psyche and putting that stuff first before it even became a popular thing, which is a great thing that it's become a popular thing. Mm-hmm. People talking about mental health. That stuff I was trying to practice, you know what I'm saying, years and years ago. And stuff I did practice years and years ago. And you don't have to be around and on the scene all the time. And you know what I'm saying? You don't have to, be the loudest one in the room, as they like to say. Because that's usually the person that, you know what I'm saying, is dealing with the most, is the loudest one in the room. Yeah. So, and I mean all the time, like sometimes you're gonna be the loudest person. It just happens like that. I'm a loud person. Like it's just how it happens. But it's not that I'm dealing, it's just who I am. You know what I'm saying? And so I'm okay with that. But I think that's what a very key part of that is that's kind of stuff, being by yourself kind of keeps me grounded. My parents definitely kept me super grounded. You know what I mean? Like they weren't or they didn't allow like the big heads, I guess. You know what I'm saying, in the house. Like your accomplishments and your things were always championed and always shown love to, but it wasn't what made you. You know what I mean? And they would kind of, instill those morals and those values in us when we were kids that I didn't know that they were instilling in us when we were kids. I just thought, this is what all kids do. And I found out earlier, this ain't what all kids do. We were blessed to get some extra stuff from my mother and my father. So they have a lot to do with why I am kind of how I am and the humility that I kind of practice and the person that I just, am naturally. They were huge components of why I'm like this. And my brothers and my sisters also. I'm the youngest, you know what I'm saying, in my house. I'm the youngest. And so my relatives will be quick to humble, you know what I'm saying, let me know the youngest.
Yeah.
They don't call me the little brother, they call me the younger brother because I'm bigger than everybody. So they'll call me, but they'll still be like, you the younger than me, you need to chill out. You know what I'm saying? To relax. You know what I'm saying? And it's like that. And they're saying it jokingly, but they're still letting me know. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And so my family, we lead with love a lot, but we are about putting values and morals and humility and a lot of those things first. And I'm very God-fearing man, you know what I'm saying, because of them. And that has definitely helped in my life kind of stabilize me in a lot of aspects and in a lot of regions and a lot of mental issues I might have gone through when I was like a teenager or in your 20s that kids usually kind of go through at that time. Or even now, like just every day, every day is not a perfect day. It's just not, you know what I mean? But it still doesn't change how I operate or carry myself just because it's not a perfect day. I still can, I want to laugh, bro. Like I enjoy laughing and I enjoy being happy. Like it's me. Like I'm like, okay, what makes me happy is being happy and making other people, you know what I'm saying, happy and making them smile when they don't want to. You know what I'm saying? Like they don't see a reason to. You know what I mean? Or just doing something kind for somebody or just those kind of things. Like I don't do anything I do for like a recognition thing. Like that doesn't really move me. It never really has. Like I'm just I'm just always kind of just reserved and a little more chill like that. So I love chill and I love being by myself, and those things kind of keep me grounded along with, like I said, with my family and those other things. That just keeps me grounded and realizing I'm not I remember my dad always said, you're not better than anybody and nobody's better than you. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And I take those things, I took that to heart. You know what I mean? And he's right. Like I'm not better than anybody, but nobody's better than me either. Like that's true. And there's greatness in something that everybody does. And you have to find your own that you feel like you're comfortable in. Like even doing this, I didn't think existed when I started, doing it.
Right.
It didn't exist. And it wasn't a thing because I wanted to do sports, but I didn't want to cut my hair. I didn't want to take off a hat. I didn't want to change how I dressed. I didn't want to change how I talk. I just wanted to talk sports. Why am I not good enough? Why am I not good enough to be accepted? You know what I'm saying? And it's just how I am. Like why does it have to be I got to put on a blazer to do this? Like I don't understand this. That doesn't make sense to me. So when Bulls Outsiders kind of came about, they said the exact same thing to me. Like we don't want you to be that. We want you to be a fan and who you are. And it sounded like a lie. Right? Because I'm not used to hearing that. You know what I'm saying? And especially being a black man, I'm not used to hearing that stuff. You know what I'm saying? So when they told me those things and they wanted just who I was like, okay, it took me a while to be like comfortable in that because I'm not used to hearing it. And so once I got comfortable in it, they couldn't turn that off of me. And then it went from that to Matt and I doing Locked On Bulls to what we do now at CHGO. And CHGO is a huge component of allowing the person to be who they are and wanting them to be exactly and authentically yourself. And that's what they want. And when you tell somebody like me that, you're going to get everything that I got. You know what I'm saying? Because you're telling me I can do everything I've always wanted to do. I can get on this show, or we can sit in here and talk about cheese, and I can talk about music, and you know what I mean? I can talk about, I don't care, sailboats, movies, whatever. Me and Matt just sit here and quote School of Rock all day. We can do that. Yeah. You know what I mean? Cool. That's what's going to happen. You know what I mean? Like, and we're going to do that. And so just being allowed to be myself and being accepted brings a peace to me. You know what I'm saying? And it brings a peace to me that I didn't know I needed because I already had peace in myself, but the acceptance of who I am and somebody actually giving me a check for it of who I am. It's something I'm not used to experiencing. And so the fact that I got that now, I think that you see a lot of that too, as far as the reason I am how I am, because I'm just incredibly happy and at peace with where I am and what I do with this company.
And there's another lesson that Big Dave can teach us about our authentic selves. In a world where so many of us feel misunderstood, if we're able to make other people feel comfortable being their most authentic selves, that will make them more apt to open up to us, making us feel better in the end.
I like making people comfortable enough to be themselves. I want everybody to be who they are around me, because I'm going to be me and I want you to be you, like you be yourself. Like, who cares? Like, let's just be cool with this. You know what I'm saying? Like, what you want to do? You know what I mean? How do you want to do it? Because all I'm thinking is, maybe I'll learn something from you and doing it a certain way that I'm not doing something, or learn something about you. Or, you know what I mean? That would be really cool to, hear and see. But I enjoy when people are their authentic selves and comfortable around me. So I strive to make people comfortable around me, as comfortable as I am around them or in my own skin. Like, yeah, you can feel this way too. Like, just be you. Like it's all good. So yeah.
You got started working on your mental health, several years before you started podcasting and stuff.
Yeah.
What were those steps that you like? What was it like when you first started? Like, what were the first few things that you were keying in on?
Oh, that's a great question. The first things I think that are important is finding out what you don't like. I think that is a huge, colossal thing. Like, what don't you like doing? What makes you sad when you do it? Or what bothers you when you do it? It could be something you're eating. It could be something you're saying. It could be something you're watching. But your gut never really lies to you. And your stomach will always tell you when something ain't right. And so when you find those things out and you're finding out, well, I don't like this, or this doesn't work for me, or, I'm just doing, why am I doing this? I'll give an like mine can start with like food, right? So I used to eat McDonald's like all the time, colossal. And if McDonald's becomes a promo of the show, shout out to them, eat your McDonald's all day long. But this is just my story. But I was eating it all the time. And it was when I'm like, if I had like $4 in change, I'm up the street at McDonald's and I'm getting it to eat because of that reason. To say I had that money. I started thinking to myself, and maybe it was also because I have friends, all my friends that I try to hang around, I didn't try to make it this way. It just ended up this way. But I advise this, but hang around people that don't think like you. You know what I mean? I really advise it. Hang around people who have a whole different kind of lifestyle than you, a whole different ideology, but they have the same kind of morals and values that you have. Like, you have to have that kind of connection. You know what I mean? You don't even have to have the same faith. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't yet, but you have to have that same kind of morals and connection. Because I have friends who don't believe in God. I have friends that are Muslim. I have, you know what I mean? I have all kinds of friends, and that's just how it is. And some who are complete meat eaters and some who are strictly vegan. And I learn from them all, I take from all of them and I learn from them all. So I feel like that's very important. But anyway, when I was eating the McDonald's and I started thinking to myself, why am I eating this all the time? Am I eating it because it's good? Mm-hmm. And then I realized, well, it's not because it's good. It's delicious. But that's not why I'm eating it all the time. I'm eating it because it's there.
Right.
It's convenient. It was 24 hours. It's open. It's right there. And it's there all the time. And it doesn't cost me a lot. And I can just go grab it and come back. And if I need some more, I go right back and grab it and come back. I was like, so if I'm just eating it because it's convenient, not because it's great, maybe I should chill, you know what I'm saying, on doing that. And that got me to chill on that. And then I remember I would eat a lot of like Little Caesars. And I was like, am I eating it because it's good or because it's convenient? Little Caesars is cool, but it's $5. You know what I'm saying? Like, bro, when you gonna find that deal? You know what I'm saying? That's $5 pizza? I walk in, I ain't really got to talk. Like, hey, what you got? Hey, give me 2 of them. I bet. Thank you. That's it. You know what I mean? The day Little Caesars raised their prices was the last day I had Little Caesars.
Yep, same here.
Last day. It was the last day.
And I don't even live in Chicago where the pizza's actually good.
Right, exactly. Again, great point, because there are tons of options. I could go get pizza, but I would go to Little Caesars because it was there and it was $5. And that's hard to find. And it's hard, and it's down the street. You know what I mean? And it's a hard thing to break. But once that stuff happened, I stopped eating those things. So things internally started changing in me because I wasn't putting that stuff inside me. And then it became, you know what? I don't even think I want meat anymore. You know what I'm saying? Then it became, you know what? I don't know if I want that much cheese anymore. And then all that stuff just started kind of changing. And then I just started feeling better, just mentally. And, up here, you know what I'm saying? Like I just started, and in here, in myself, I just started feeling better. And again, that's not to say those things aren't delicious, because they damn sure are. They're awesome and they taste great and they're amazing. But for me, I had to stop doing those things to raise my kind of mental. So it was changing stuff like that. It was getting a routine. I'm a very routine oriented kind of person. Like I need a routine. I need to know why I'm getting up, because my pastor always say, David ain't gonna do it if he ain't got to do it. You know what I mean? And if I don't have to do it, I'm not doing it. And that's the truth. But if I got to do it, it's gonna get done 100% accurately, and it's gonna be great. I'm gonna do it to the best of my ability. But that's why I need a routine. I need to be able to get up, make your bed, you know what I'm saying, do something, go to the gym. Whether you're going to a gym or you're just working out at home, you got to do that. Try to learn something new, whether it's Spanish or you learn an instrument or something, or you're listening to a new song or something, or you're reading a new book. Just try to learn something new that will help help you grow and help you kind of elevate. So those are things I was doing, and I still do, to kind of just keep myself cool, you know what I'm saying, mentally. And it worked for me really, really well. And I can't stress enough, just having the right people around you, you know what I'm saying, and having people around you that genuinely care about you.
Yeah.
And that's when you will start to see your circle get smaller and smaller. And my circle had to start getting smaller and smaller, because I started watching and looking and saying, okay, am I bringing more to this than somebody is bringing more to me? Am I doing more? Is somebody matching me in what I'm putting out, or at least getting close to what I'm doing as far as I'm putting out? Not to say they're bad people, or not to say awesome, but can they match me on that? Because that's a mental something you'll put on yourself, because you'll start saying, oh man, that person ain't doing this, they ain't doing that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Oh man, this ain't you'll start having those conversations with yourself and beating yourself up mentally about something they ain't even thinking about. You know what I'm saying? Like, and so when it explodes on them, they're like, what the hell are you mad about? Like, it's because you've been having an argument with yourself. You know what I'm saying? That they don't even know about, dog.
Yeah, you came to it with expectations they can't match.
Exactly, man. And that's not fair to put on them like that. You know what I'm saying? It's not fair. So you have to figure out what you have to have around you and what people you need around you. And I promise you, you will find your circle to get much smaller. It's like, and you can attest to this, it's like having a family. Like, I know friends who had all times of the night, knew everybody. You know what I'm saying? Always cooked it. Once they got married and had kids, that was it. You know what I'm saying? The circle got tiny. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, the circle got real small, dog. The hey man, I'm coming to see you was like, nah, bro, I'm gonna chill. You know what I mean? Like, nah, I'm staying home, and I honor that and I respect it, a whole lot, because your circle got small because it's the betterment of you. Like, you're realizing who you got to be around to help grow not only the people you around, but just grow yourself, you know what I'm saying, on top of that. So, and I'm sure you can relate to that, you know what I'm saying, and stuff like that. So yeah, man, like, your circle will start getting smaller, but it is to help you get better and help you mentally get right. So once you find, man, it's nothing like finding that place, that comfort zone, and that place in your life. And once you find it, man, it's a joyous thing, man. You know, and I was happy to have found it years and years and years ago, man. And the other thing that I haven't mentioned that kept me grounded a lot was I took care of my mother. You know what I'm saying? Because my mother was dealing, with sickness and mentally. She had dealt with dementia. So taking care of her kept me super grounded because that was the only thing I cared about. You know what I'm saying? Like that was it. That was 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 of what I was doing as far as care was concerned. Was she came first. It didn't matter about anything else. She came first. And I respect, and the other part of loyalty I have for CHGO is they honored that, because that's exactly what I told them when I got there, before we did anything. And I said, y'all have to know 2 things about me: is I'm honest, and my mother comes before all this. You know what I'm saying? I was like, so if something's up with her or if something's going down, I ain't gonna be able to do everything here because it's just gonna be for her. And they had no issue with it. Matt has always been super supportive as far as when I, with that concern. And yeah, so yeah, those things will keep you grounded, man. Family keeps you grounded and keeps you, chugging along.
Yeah. But that's not to say if someone is seriously dragging you down and you've let them know about it, yet they continue to do the same things over and over, that you can't separate yourself from them in some way.
There's a line that Jay-Z says, like on this first album that I like quoting, where he says, if everybody in your clique is rich, your clique is rugged, no one will fall because everyone will be each other's crutches. And that's kind of how I like it. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want another man to carry me. You know what I'm saying? I don't need it. I don't want another woman to carry me. I don't need it. I want to walk with you, and I want to be helpful without a doubt. I want to have your back. You know what I mean? I got you. You know what I'm saying? And you'll have mine, vice versa, like that. But when you're carrying somebody, that's when it becomes the burden. When you got to pick somebody up, because sometimes your friends need to be picked up, and you got to carry them a little bit. But when you're carrying them for miles and miles and miles, and they can walk, you know what I'm saying? Like their feet work just fine, but they can walk and they just enjoy being carried, and it's cool. That's the burden, and that's what it is. Yeah, everybody's gonna fall because some people are gonna be on hard times, and I've helped many people in tougher situations and stuff, but it's the ones that feel like they're gonna want to stay in those situations is who I can't rock with, because I'm trying to rock with the ones who are trying to get themselves out and trying to elevate, you know what I mean, and trying to just be better. And I ain't even talking financially, you know what I'm saying? I'm just talking mentally, bro. Like just trying to be a better person and trying to do what's best for you. And that's why me and Matt again get along so great, man, because he and I walk together. You know what I'm saying? Like there's certain things he does better than me, and there's certain things I might be a little bit better than him at, but it balances each other out. There's a balance there, but neither one of us are carrying each other. Like we're just walking with each other. Like, no, bro, me and you, let's go. Like let's do this, and we're gonna walk together on that. So yeah.
That's it for today's show. Thank you to Big Dave from the CHGO Bulls podcast. Thank you for listening. If you like the show, be sure to follow us on Facebook at facebook.com/showmyscars. Be sure to like and subscribe on whatever podcast app you're listening to us on. And be sure to check out my website at showmyscars.com. We've got merch there, or if you have story ideas to submit, please do so. And we'll see you next time.